What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video here. My name's Kyle, and this one, as I record this, it's April 5th, and it's the way too early overrated fantasy football players at ADP that I am avoiding. I'm using drafters.com to use my ADP. This is where I'm drafting best ball leagues. If you guys are unfamiliar with best ball leagues, just comment in the ask a question in the comments, and I can refer to best ball leagues there. But basically, people are paying money to draft players right now, and it's before the NFL draft. I get that, but there's still some values and some players that I am avoiding. So I did put out a sleeper video. If you want to check that one out, I'll link that one probably in the description, and I'll put that as one of the cards at the back of the video here. But anyways, in this one, we're going to be looking at players that are overrated, players that I am avoiding. And as far as the first round, I think I don't really, again, I hate saying this player is overrated. I'm not going to draft this player. I'm not a negativity person. I'm usually a positivity person. So it's hard for me to just say, I don't want anything to do with this guy. But I think there can be a case to be made for everybody here in the beginning of the draft. One of the guys that I find myself not drafting is probably the first one's Tyreek Hill at 16.4. I think it's a clear downgrade, and people are still kind of drafting him as if he's paired with Patrick Mahomes. And it's interesting. 111 receptions last year, 1,239 receiving yards, and 9 touchdowns. There's just almost no way that he's going to be able to hit that ceiling. So I just wanted to pull up the wide receiver stats in terms of PPR. And if you guys do play drafters.com, you know it's a PPR league. He was wide receiver 6 last year. I think that's probably his ceiling. And as we look at this, you have Cooper Kupp, Jefferson, Chase, Devontae, Debo, Stephon, and Tyreek Hill. So he's being drafted as kind of like wide receiver 6, wide receiver 7. Just feels a little bit off. So to me, a little bit overrated here at ADP right now, Tyreek Hill. We'll keep it moving down here a little bit. Because again, it's really hard to say these guys are overrated. They're all so damn good. But let's kind of get it to like the third round or so. DeAndre Hopkins, a little bit interesting here, coming in at number 29. He's a third round value. I'm not going to say he's overrated, but he might be fairly priced here. Maybe Kyle Pitts is the guy here who's overrated, a tight end who only scored 1 touchdown last year. He did go over 1,000 yards, but 68 catches, 1,026 yards, 1 touchdown. We got no idea who the quarterback's going to be. It could be Baker Mayfield. It could be Marcus Mariota. We really don't know who's going to be the Falcons quarterback. So I'm a little bit nervous about Kyle Pitts here. Especially as the 35th player off the board. That means you're investing a third round pick in a guy if you play in 12-man leagues, otherwise a fourth round in 10-man leagues. So to me, a little bit rich here. There's some like you can get Darren Waller, you can get George Kittle later. So to me, Kyle Pitts, probably the first guy I'm going to stamp and say a little bit overrated at the moment right now. And then we're going to get to this little tier here of wide receivers. I still can make a case that I like DK Metcalf here at 37.6. I'm not going to say he's overrated. And if anything, he's kind of underrated he's probably the first or second pick in the fourth round of a 12-man league right now. That seems to be fair value. DJ Moore, though, is a guy who he put up a nice season with not a lot of good quarterback play last year. He started off the year super hot. If you guys remember his huge pace that he was going on through 4 games, and then kind of fell back into wide receiver 2 territory. Probably fair value in the fourth round here. I still like Deontay Johnson, maybe more. But let's keep it moving here. Guys who are overrated at ADP. I'm not really seeing anyone that makes too much sense here to kind of call out as overrated. What do we do with Ezekiel Elliott? So, I mean, last year, let's just pull up the stats. He did somehow finish as running back 7. He only averaged 14.6 points per game, though. So not the greatest season out of Ezekiel Elliott. It was kind of very similar to Antonio Gibson's season, though. So if you had Gibson, that's basically what it was like to own Ezekiel Elliott. So the good news is we don't have to pay first round prices for him. He's now, a fringe 4th, 5th round player. But let's keep it moving. Overrated players at ADP. I'm going to get to a couple players here that I am hesitant on. Now, Elijah Moore, last year, I loved Elijah Moore coming out of the draft. He had some massive, look at these games from week 9 to week 13. You see a 20.6, a 9.3, a 29.6, a 13.4, and a 27.4. Absolutely love those numbers. Just a fantastic boom here to the rookie season. But we don't know what's going to happen with Elijah Moore. And the thing is, the Jets pick number 4. They pick number 10. They pick, I think, 35 and 38. So they get 4 really early picks. they're rumored to potentially get a wide receiver at 10, which if they bring in Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson or Drake London, that's going to plummet Elijah Moore. So I think for now, I'm going to pump the brakes. 52.8 seems a little bit overrated for Elijah Moore. I mean, you're banking on him to be a wide receiver too at that cost, and I just don't know if I can do it. Amon-Ra St. Brown's another guy here that uh, basically he was just kind of the last man standing as far as targets. No TJ Hawkinson, all the receivers there on that team kind of just faded away. He had a hell of a season at the end here. The last 4 games 26.1, 35.4, 26, and 23.5. Fantastic, fantastic numbers. 8 receptions in all 4 games, 9 in the other one here, 4 straight touchdowns. It's hard to not like these numbers here, but I need to pump the brakes. Again, just a massive 6 game finish here. Fantastic season. But the Lions are another one of those teams that very likely could end up drafting a wide receiver. They've already added a guy in DJ Chark. They re-signed Josh Reynolds. TJ Hawkinson's going to be back. And again, it's still Jared Goff, so you're a little bit hesitant there. But to take Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 5th round over a guy like Michael Pittman, I'm not taking Amon-Ra over Michael Pittman. I'm not taking him over Cortland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy. I'm probably taking Juju over Amon-Ra, and I'm probably taking Joe Burrow. Maybe looking at quarterbacks in that range. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, Elijah Moore. I'm going to pump the brakes on the second year wide receivers. Um, I don't know if I can buy Elijah Mitchell, guys, in the 5th round. I know he did some nice things last year. He ran for almost 1,000 yards in 11 games, 5 rushing touchdowns. The receiving numbers were a little bit weak, 19 for 137 and a score. The game logs, pretty solid game logs, though, if I do say so. He had, the nice 3 straight games in the playoffs where he had double-digit points, 10, 10, and 15. I just don't see the upside here, like the home run upside here. He's not going to catch a lot of passes in that offense. They do like some of the pass receiving backs that they have there. So he's kind of he's a running back too that you can get in the 5th round. I guess it's nice. I don't know if I love it. ETN, you're banking on a guy here. Again, he had that the Liz Frank injury. I'm not sure if I'm going to want to trust. The Jags are not going to be very good this year, guys. I know ETN's probably going to rack up a lot of catches, so I might regret saying that. But ETN. There's other players at this part of the draft that I prefer. Overrated, maybe Devonta Smith. To spend a 5th or 6th round pick on Devonta Smith paired with Jalen Hurts does not seem super safe. I know this was his rookie season, but man, in between the 19-point games, you're going to get a 5.8, a 3.6, a 5.1, a 2.5, a 4.2, a 3.5, a 7, and an 8. It's just the highs and lows are too herky-jerky for me with Devonta Smith. I don't see these getting more consistent. 64 catches, 916 yards, and 5 TDs. Really solid rookie season. I think he can grow on all of these numbers. But for me, I'm going to struggle to pull the trigger on Devonta Smith, especially over guys like Allen Robinson, Gabe Davis, Darnell Mooney. Like those guys are a little bit more exciting. Even the quarterbacks in this range, Brady, Prescott, a couple other guys. But the guy that's on the cover of the video, the #1 fade at ADP going off at 71.6 is Hunter Renfrow. And man, like I get it. Like if we made this video before the Devontae Adams trade, we could have been saying this is one of the best values. A 6th round pick, Hunter Renfrow. I want that, right? He's going to lead the team in targets and receptions very likely. But you got to remember, Darren Waller was not healthy for most of last season, and now you're going to add Devontae Adams to this team. It's going to be very difficult for Hunter Renfrow to even come close to his numbers. 103 receptions last year, 1,038 yards, and 9 touchdowns. I mean, first of all, he was wide receiver 10. If we go back to 2020, that's probably more where he is going to end up. And to be honest, I don't even see him on the list here. Hunter Renfrow, not even in the top 50 of 2020 wide receivers. Let me look one more here. He was wide receiver 56. So he came, or 57. So he came in with 56 catches, 656 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to fall back to completely these levels, maybe in the 60 reception mark range, maybe 700 to 800 yards. So I still like him. He's still going to be an interesting guy, but to pay a 6th round pick for a guy that is behind Devontae Adams and Darren Waller in the pecking order, I don't think I can do it. Anybody else here on the list? I'm into Michael Carter in the 6th round. I think he could be fun. Devin Singletary, I still find it hard to trust him. He did have a really nice finish to his season. You look at the volume and the receiving work. He's finally started to get the. You look at the touchdown streak. 8 touchdowns in the final 6 games for Singletary. Pretty solid. Um, I'm not sure if that's overvalued or fair price. 6th round pick. It seems like it's legit. Adam Thielen, you know, fantastic player. He's had a hell of a career. I just at this point of his career to go off in the pick number 74. That's essentially the 7th round. I mean, I'd rather have a guy like Damian Harris, Brandon Cooks, take a quarterback, and Matt Stafford, TJ Hawkinson. There's some other players in this Adam Thielen range. So I think I'm going to rank Adam Thielen as slightly overrated. But I mean, we're into the 7th round, so like, it's hard to say these guys are overrated. They're all kind of at this point, they're all kind of values and sleepers. But that was kind of the main thing. I think Hunter Renfrow, one of the biggest overvalued players. Talk about Adam Thielen. Um, we talked about Devonta Smith. We talked about not sure what to think about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, he's kind of got this weird thing where he ebbs and flows. Started the year off really hot again, and then he got hurt. Comes back, wasn't really consistent. He still put up some nice numbers, but Kyler Murray, as for where he's going, I mean, I'd rather have Joe Burrow. I'd rather have maybe Tom Brady. I'd rather have maybe Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson. Like, there's some players behind Murray that I can say Murray's a slightly overrate at this point, especially losing a guy like Christian Kirk. Um, we'll see if he can continue to get better there. But that's it. That was kind of the video. Let me know if you guys agree with anybody that I said was overrated, or if you want to add anybody, please do so in the comments. I'll probably post that question there myself. Check out the sleeper video. I did provide a handful of sleepers just like this video, just the inverse. So that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for your time. We'll see you in a future video. Peace.